today's competitive business environment, it's important to carefully plan for marketing communications expenditure. Budgeting is key if we are to ensure that the marketing communication strategy will be implemented effectively. A marketing communication budget delivers great value when implemented strategically. A marketing communication strategy is an important tool for managing our interaction with customers. It is a roadmap that guides on how communication will be used to meet specific marketing performance objectives. It helps you to inform, sensitize, and persuade your customers in a structured manner. And the implementation of this marketing communication strategy requires money. Now, I'm Catherine Ngahu from SBO Research. Thank you for tuning into my channel, Elevators, where we offer elevating and empowering messages to help you grow in life, career, and business. In this video, I will talk about 5 ways to budget for marketing communication. I will highlight specific benefits of each approach. Do like this video and stay with me, and do subscribe to my channel. Now, effective communication is key to the success of any relationship. An organization's relationship with customers is fundamental to the profitability of the business. Now, marketing communications activities include all those things that we do to develop and implement the marketing communication strategy. Having a marketing communication budget gives a firm, whether small, medium, or big, a proper process for planning, organizing, tracking, assessing, and executing marketing communication expenditures. The tracking is important. The assessment is important because you also want to know how well you are doing. What's the impact of the marketing communications budget on your marketing communications? Now, developing a budget for marketing communication ensures that various marketing efforts get the attention they deserve based on available resources. A clear marketing communication strategy details how information will flow to achieve the intended marketing objective and how the right message will get to the right people at the right time and in the right manner. And as I've said it before, marketing communication strategy is essential for business in a similar way to how a football team needs a defense layout. The budget question then is, how do you allocate resources to support the marketing communication strategy? And if you want to learn more about marketing communication strategy, you can go to my video on this channel on marketing communication strategy, 6 easy steps. Now, marketing communication activities include promotion activities such as advertising, direct marketing, online marketing, sales promotion, and public relations. This should also include research activities related to marketing communication, such as focus groups and surveys for audience analysis, brand audit, copy testing, and communication evaluation. Now, many companies like to test their communication, so they will do even copy testing to ensure that what they are saying is actually going to be understood by the target audience. And of course, we keep talking about the emphasis of matching the audience. So before you can match the audience with your communication, of course, you need to do audience analysis. And then you find their media habits. That is, where can they be found? Where do they spend time so that you can reach your communication to where they are? Now, some organizations also spend some money to purchase industry reports, and others spend on travel for benchmarking trips to learn more about how the competitors are positioned in the marketplace. And all this can be covered in the marketing communication budget. Other costs include retaining or hiring the services of our website designer and manager, and advertising agencies who are needed to develop creative communications. Other costs go to buying media space on TV, radio, and online, as well as trade shows and exhibitions where you go to present your products or to talk about your services. The purpose of a marketing communication budget is to ensure that marketing communication objectives are met in the most cost-effective manner. For more on communication strategy objectives, you can watch my video on the 6 M's of communication strategy on this channel. The budget can be annual, but with breakdowns of quarterly or monthly, in some cases, depending on the organization's marketing communication strategy. So now let's go straight to the 5 methods you could use to determine the communication budget. First is historical method. This is a common budgeting method because of its simplicity. It's usually based on last year's budget with a small arbitrary percentage added or deducted. The budget result here has nothing to do with communication objectives. It's just basically arbitrary. It has no scientific basis, but relates more to past sales and revenue. So really, it has no marketing logic. It's not based on any market or competitive factors. It relies on the assumption that a business should spend on marketing communications based on the previous year's budget. This means that marketing communications budget is allocated after considering last year's budget. That's simple. In fact, some people say this is not even a strategy, this historical method. But the reality is that it does happen. Some companies use it, especially SMEs, and so we like to talk about it in these programs. The second is task and objective method, what we call bottom-up approach. This is one of the most common methods, and it looks at the objectives set for communication and for each specific communication activity. So if it's advertising, what are the objectives? If it's sales promotion, if it's online marketing, what are the objectives? And then it determines the specific costs of accomplishing each objective. My neighbor's dog likes to bark like now. Now, this approach focuses on objectives. It keeps marketing managers and marketing team focused on objectives. It's logical and practical as it comes from estimating costs of activities that meet the marketing communication objectives. The positive thing about it is that it actually emphasizes the actual needs of a company. Third is the percent of sales method. This involves comparing total sales with the total marketing budget during a previous time period in order to compute a percentage for the marketing communication budget. This method follows the assumption that there is a positive correlation between communication expenditure and sales. It's not scientific as such, but somehow maintains competitive parity and encourages the marketing manager to think in terms of the relationship between marketing costs, sales, and profits. The fourth is competitive method. This relates the amount invested in marketing communications to the product's share of market. It calls for a good understanding of the share of market and also share of mind, because a lot of times we say in communication you are trying to influence the mind and sometimes the heart. So they say there are 3 factors to focus on if you think in terms of this competitive method. Think about what is your share of market, what is your share of mind, that is those who are aware about your brand, and what is the share of heart, that is those who admire or who like, who love your brand. And if you want to learn more about brand love, you can also check my video on this channel about what is brand love. Lessons from personal relationships. You can find that video in this channel. This competitive method focuses on competitive factors affecting marketing performance. It considers the competitors' advertising and communication activities and looks at the strategy of the competitors. So if the competitors spend, let's say 3% or 4%, then the company will spend just around that or a little more or less. This assumes that the competitor or the market leader is always right or knows what they are doing, and so you rely on them. I mean, this could be misleading at times and should not be followed blindly, but it works best for those companies that are adopting a challenger or follower marketing strategy towards a specific competitor. And I have come across this in my business with the client who said that they were selecting this company, this competitor, and they were going neck to to neck with them as a follower because they believed they knew exactly what they were doing. Actually, the owner had been employed by that company before, and he knew that they used to do marketing research. They used to apply very many analytical tools to determine their decisions. And so he would follow this particular competitor in the budgeting method. So he would find out what they are doing, the level of budget they apply for that particular product, and he would apply something similar from his product. So what this means is that if your sales are this much, you match the percent, not the amount. So for example, maybe that company was doing $1 billion and you are doing $1 million or 10 million. Your percentage will be just from what you are achieving. And fifth is all you can afford method. Actually, you almost think, is that a method? Is that a strategy? But yes, there are people who use this all you can afford method. This involves allocating whatever money is left over to communication strategy. And it could be called a leftover something, because I don't even want to call it a strategy. Leftover strategy. If you give somebody leftovers, would you say that you plan for them? No. So companies who use this approach are actually companies that don't value marketing communication that much. They know they need to communicate, but they don't value it that much. So they leave it to benefit from leftovers. This method depends on the availability of funds or the company's ability to spend. It's not logical at all. It has no science to it, and it's not based on marketing factors. It relies purely on the assumption that a business should spend something on marketing communications. And that something should be based on what it can afford. This means that marketing communications budget is allocated after allocating all other expenses. So communication is viewed as an afterthought to be allocated the leftovers. So that is another method people use, which I generally would not recommend because it completely is opposed to the thinking of being a bit strategic around marketing communication. Then we set a marketing communication strategy. Can we also be a bit strategic when we come to budgeting? However, if you don't have any other means or time or thinking or team to think through these things, it is a method that you can use. It's commonly used in SMEs, actually, and would not discount it totally. Now, to sum up, the 5 methods for budgeting for marketing communications are: first, historical method; second, task and objective method; third, percentage of sales method; number 4, competitive method; and 5th is all you can afford. Thank you for staying with me. Do like this video and share it with other people who you think might benefit from it. And do subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Thank you so much and best wishes. We all need to elevate our mindsets at this time.